It's crypto week.
Yeah.
Legislation will be passed, probably, most likely. And in anticipation of that, we saw some historical moments. Bitcoin crossed over 120,000 for the first time ever. Um, XRP
Uh-oh,
brush,
Rashad, got
brushing up against $3. Ethereum crossed
it.
over 3,000.
3,000. Yep.
Um, so there's been a lot of good times
Mhm.
that people are expecting in the crypto space. So okay, once again, since we're saying these things, I did pick Bitcoin and MicroStrategy as my choice
Of the year.
of the year.
You sure did.
Um, we're gonna talk about XRP, but first, we want to talk about the. You want to talk about altcoins first or Bitcoin first, or
Whatever direction you want to
legislation,
go.
or the legislation first?
I think maybe legislation
Yeah, that's
because
the legislation.
I think that the buildup and this run that we've seen is due to the anticipation that legislation is going to be passed. We talked about the Genius Act, which was headed to Congress. We talked about July 22nd, which is just about a week away. More legislation in terms of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency being an actual asset class. So we're here, man, and you got everything lined up for something that could be historic. When you're talking about a crypto-friendly administration, a
Mhm.
crypto czar, and him wanting to get things done that will be historic. This will be the first time that can happen, and so that build up from a legislation standpoint has led to some of this anticipation and why we're kind of seeing Bitcoin go on this historical run. And it's not something that we didn't know. We've been saying it every week. It feels like, here, circle this date on your calendar. I remember it was May 8th. Let's circle this date. Even back to the election, circle this date. If he
Yep.
wins, right, he's crypto friendly. And so we said that the 22nd would be a date, and now we're seeing that run up into the 22nd. So should be interesting.
Even before that, one of the biggest lessons that we have to remember is asymmetric risk to reward. No, and I'll talk about this in my presentation at InvestFest, but knowing when something is a generational buy, 155.46 is where we should land by January or February. Once all the institutions got involved, BlackRock currently has what, $90 billion in that ETF. We have to have a serious conversation about what are index funds going to do to, I stated last week, the 60-40 is dead. The desire for 7 to 15% is over with. It's over with. Like, everyone who's pitching that safety route, it's hard to pitch that when Bitcoin now is averaging 83% year-over-year returns. No one wants to. And the truth is, if a lot of the people in the industry didn't gatekeep high returns, there wouldn't be a platform for this to happen. The desire came from like, you mean to tell me you put cables underneath the ocean to then drive data to Wall Street in the 70s and 80s, and the only thing that the average investor could get is 7 to 12%? Bro, the jig's been up. Bitcoin was just the platform to kind of expose that. And now index funds, if they don't move fast enough, could get replaced as a beacon of safety while the bond market is still in shambles. So yeah, but great return, amazing return, hell of a return since 20,000. Let's clap it up for me. So even before we got to the legislation part,
Yeah.
certain things were generational buys, and it goes back to my biggest lesson of just holding the assets that you love for 10 years. Even those you're an XRP army, leave Rashad alone. Not 901. Stop. Come on. Leave my dog alone.
Well, we're gonna talk about it. I mean, so all right. So just for full clarity, Crypto Week. A lot of people been hearing about Crypto Week. So that's this week, July 14th to the 18th, and it was declared Crypto Week by U.S. House Representatives because they're trying to fast track three major crypto bills. So the first bill is the Genius Act.
Yep.
So that's guiding and establishing national innovation for U.S. stablecoins. The
Mhm.
second one is the Clarity Act, Digital Asset Market Clarity Act. And the third one is Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act. So there's 3 acts that's actually trying to get fast tracked through Congress this week. That's why they called it Crypto Week.
Mhm.
So in full transparency, okay. When in the last year, when we was talking about, like, I thought that that was gonna be the choice of the year. I did put a substantial amount into the Bitcoin, and
Mhm.
then I did liquidate some index funds
Mhm.
to allocate to Bitcoin. Okay. I am
They're on you.
a holder of
Ooh.
Solana, Ethereum, and I am a holder of XRP. For full transparency, I've had XRP for 5 years.
Mhm.
Now, I just don't think that it should be your primary focus.
But
But you gotta have some exposure. Anything can happen.
Mhm.
Anything can happen.
The name of the game is to own every asset. If you don't take anything else away from what I tell you, own the Magic Johnson. I know Lakers, Dodgers, them other companies. Oh boy, own every asset.
Yeah,
You'll
this is not a love-hate thing. This is a potential gain thing.
But Bitcoin, I think, is definitely the way to go in crypto. Everything else to be determined. But Bitcoin, it's unstoppable. It's unstoppable.
Mhm.
There's no stopping Bitcoin.
Nope. Especially with the centralization and legislation behind it.
Yeah.
Y'all killed me for that 4 years ago. I told you once BlackRock and Vanguard and Invesco got involved, it was game. I don't want to hear decentral. It's not decentralized anymore. I
Yeah.
do want an apology for that too, while I can hear clearly.
And it's the Bitcoin ecosystem. So the ETFs, the IBIT,
I bet
MicroStrategy,
Mhm.
Coinbase,
Block, which Jack will be at InvestFest.
for
Mhm.
sure. So there's the ecosystem of just Bitcoin, not even just crypto, but just Bitcoin, right? Like especially MicroStrategy, IBIT. That's directly. I mean, IBIT obviously is an ETF that tracks Bitcoin, so that's 100%. And then MicroStrategy buys Bitcoin. And I even saw Tom Lee. He gave an interesting perspective that eventually the U.S. government's gonna have to start buying
At some point,
Bitcoin from MicroStrategy.
which will be an interesting B2G play, but from a national security standpoint, for the stability of the country, given how much debt we have, it will behoove us to do so before other countries start to do it at scale.
Mhm.
For sure.
Mhm.
Even Grayscale. Grayscale, it has not moved as well as other ETFs, but GBTC went from 60 last year, it's at 94 now. So,
Yeah.
but if I
So
was Vanguard, I would be actively figuring out a way how to get a bump in return value before, because people don't trust banks or institutions how they used to maybe 40 years prior. And given the cost of inflation, it's like, well, if all these amazing returns have been in tech, why have we been getting 0.001% on our banking and checking accounts and
makes no
whatever?
sense.
It's like, what?
Yeah. From and we just spoke about the greatest company in the lifetime of Market Mondays, with being NVIDIA, right? And we watched Bitcoin. I remember Bitcoin when it was in its hundreds, but even just during Market Mondays, being at 17,000 and now being at 122,000. You're talking about the 2 greatest assets in maybe
Return their assets.
history, right? In a 5-year span.
Mhm.
So when we talk about it being the greatest time to invest and the greatest time to own assets, this is not theoretical. This is actual facts.
Actual.
Right? We watched an asset in 2021 be $20,000 and currently sit at $122,000.
I mean, even before that, you know,
I'm saying, but just the time of since we had the show,
the first time that I personally put money into Bitcoin,
it was
$5,000.
That was November of 17.
It was $5,000.
Yeah, I think I was
the first time I saw it. It was
or
the first time I
400.
ever saw it. It was $300, and it was
That's what I'm saying. Back in the day, Bitcoin going to 500 was like a big event.
Well, the story. So but there's a story that I'm gonna tell from this. So the first time I put money into Bitcoin was $5,000, right? And at that time, people were saying 5,000 was ridiculous for something that's not even real. And then it gets to 10,000. Then it got to 20,000. Then it's like, yo, this is the tulip scam of 1909. This is the dumbest thing ever. So it's all perspective. At 5,000, people couldn't understand it. Also, at 5,000, people were saying that you were too late. That's what a lot of people, even with me, it was like, well, you're late because this has been around for years and people got in at 500. Like, you paying $5,000 for something. Why would you do that? So it's all relative. It's important to keep that in perspective. There's going to always be arguments about it being too much and that you're too late. Even when I was like, okay, this is going to be the in my investment choice of the year, people are like, okay, well, it's already $90,000, $85,000. Why are you? What's the upside? Well, if you can get 33% rate of return in 6 months, and it's still going to go up, like, you know what I mean?
13% else, yeah,
exactly.
The same reasons we just said that Nvidia has a 4 to 5 year run. We could say 4 to 5 years. There's no time limit on Bitcoin. And right, like you got to figure like that appreciation. The last Bitcoin is going to be mined in, was it 2042? We're in 2025. That's 17 years away.
And I'll say this run would not have happened without the institution and the centralization of it.
100%.
And please don't come for me. I've been investing since 2009. I've seen a lot. It does not make me the foremost expert on anything. I have created freedom for myself before I got to talking online. Without BlackRock and Vanguard, this run wouldn't have happened.
Which is why you don't see that drastic fall off that we've seen in the past.
And we used to have.
Yeah.
Or your Bitcoin don't get taken like mine did at Mt. Gox when you were selling Melaleuca coffee. Some of y'all need to stop talking and put up some results like Troy did.
Right. We saw that 2018, it climbed up to 18,000, dropped down to 3. Right. We saw it climb up to 40,000, dropped down to 20. We're not seeing those drastic pullbacks.
No.
There's institutional investing.
A
lot of whales.
I think I mean, we still got some political derailing that could potentially happen. We'll see.